Hey, I'm Avalon, and in this video I'm gonna give you the top 10 tips, beginner tips for Brawl Stars, and a bonus tip, how you progress really fast in the game, the fastest way. Let's dive right into tip number 1. Playing with randoms. You're gonna lose. Find a team to join and play with friends, because that's way better. I don't know what it is, but everybody has the same experience. We all lose when we play with randoms. They do the worst things, like in Gem Grab. They carry all the gems and they will go into the opponent's zone and die, losing all the gems very last second. Or they carry the gems and keep attacking everyone. Like they're going for kills and don't really understand what the game is about. This is the experience we all share playing with random, so that's why this must be tip number 1. Avoid playing with random, especially when you progress in the games above 200 trophies. It's really gonna hurt when you lose 5 trophies to very stupid gameplay of teammates. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2. What a lot of new players don't do, they don't understand the game quite yet, so they play it very aggressive. Either they go collect all the gems, although it's not their role. Maybe they are the attacker and they go collect gems instead. Or they just try to go for kills and try to be star player. But that's absolutely not the point of the game. Tip number 2 is play defensive. Don't die. Whenever you die, it's a disadvantage to your team. So you want to avoid dying as much as possible, because those few seconds that you lose put your team in a huge disadvantage. They fight a 2v3 in that time, and that may result in the death of the other 2 players in your team, and then you're alone, and this kind of comes into a deadly loop there, where one after another keeps dying and you can't really recover from that death. So try not to die in the game. That's number 2. And don't go for kills. Don't go for star player. If you're star player, it's mainly because you haven't died, because you got some kills. Just because you played awesome for the team, that will make you star player. Play defensive. I can't repeat that often enough. There's so many people that go for kills instead. And in almost every game mode here, if you don't die, you're gonna succeed. Tip number 3. Before you walk into a bush, shoot into the bush, because there may be a bull hiding in the bush, or a Shelly with her ult ready and kill you with one shot. So don't die. Don't walk blindly into a bush and get shot. You don't want to be that guy. It's so annoying when it happens. It happens to all of us though, so check the bushes first. Especially in Showdown, people, for the start of the game until only 5 to 6 players left, they will just hide, and if you walk blindly around or walk into bushes, you will be the first one to die and you will lose trophies. Then, in addition to tip number 2, is tip number 4. When you die, don't walk alone, don't attack alone. Or when your friends die, wait for them to respawn so that the 3 of you can circle your enemies and attack together. You don't want to get into that deadly loop where one after another is dying and you can never recover from that. So wait for your friends to respawn before you attack. That is tip number 4. Yeah, we're gonna make a successful Brawl Stars players here with those basic tips. Tip number 5. When you're a thrower like Barley or Dynamite, throw for the turrets first, because the turrets are like an additional player and the turrets can be very annoying, shooting you in the back. For example, in Gem Grab, make it really hard for you to capture the center of the map. That's what you really want to own. You want to own the center. Doesn't mean you're in the center, but you need to own it so that your opponent cannot be in the center without dying. So we want to capture the center. You place your turret so that it attacks the center. And what you also want to do, if there is a turret attacking you, remove that turret first. Use your thrower, for example Barley, to remove those turrets quickly. And usually the opponent will gather around the turrets. For example, if it's a Pam with her healing turret, they will be all in that circle. Perfect aim for a Barley. You will hit them all at once. So go for their turrets first, tip number 5. Tip number 6, and that may be counterintuitive at start, because auto-aiming is so comfortable. But practice not to auto-aim. Practice manual aim as early as possible, because auto-aim will fail you in the most critical situations. I had that so many times when one person is standing beside me, I want to shoot them, and the auto-aim shoots exactly in the opposite direction and I die. So you don't want to have that, especially with your super. This is so annoying. If you have your super ready, you just need one shot and then the super somehow goes just into a wall beside you instead of taking out your opponent. Very bad. So practice aiming early, especially once you're up above 200 trophies with your brawler. You really don't want to rely on auto aim, because manual aiming is way better, because you can actually really shoot where your opponent is moving, not where he is. Notice that your brawler with auto aim will shoot where your opponent is. So if he moves sideways, you won't hit. With most of the brawlers, you won't hit, or only one shell will hit if it's a spread damage. So you really don't want to use auto aim as soon as possible. There is a little exception to that. Short range brawlers like Primo, Bull or Shelly, they can rely on auto aim pretty much a lot of the time, but still, if two opponents are around you, it's probably gonna hit the wrong one. Talking of aiming, don't spam your shots. This is really bad practice. I usually only try to tap twice, so 2 shots or a max of 3 shots at once. If you just spam the shots, it may actually continue to shoot into walls when nobody's there anymore, and you're just wasting those very precious shots. So try really to aim and shoot once, twice or 3 times and then take time to reload. Spamming is very bad, because a lot of those shots will go into walls, and this is a problem related to auto aiming, of course, because when you auto aim, you're tempted to spam that shoot button, and you don't want to do that. And the same is true, and this is tip number 7, pay attention to the ammo usage of your opponents. If you see somebody shooting 3 times in a row, go in, kill them immediately, because they will not be able to defend themselves unless they have the ult, but usually they won't. So pay close attention to what your opponents are doing. And the same is actually true for gem grab. If one of them carries all the gems, and maybe it's around 8 or 9, that is the target you want to kill, and all of you 3 in the team should support that aim to get that one killed and capture those gems. Get them back. If they use up all their ammo, that's pretty easy kills. You want to go for those. Leads us back to tip number 2. Don't die. Play safe. Tip number 8. Learn to avoid shots. When somebody shoots at you, don't move away. Unless it's a short range brawler, then you can actually move out of range. And if you know the range really well, you can really keep out of range so that they can't hit you. But if it's a long range brawler and he shoots at you, don't try to walk away from the shot, but walk sideways. Because a lot of them will not aim properly and they will not hit you if you move sideways. For example, a Colt. This is very true with a Colt. If a Colt shoots at you, move sideways, unexpected to one of the sides, and he won't be able to hit you many times. The opposite is actually true if you play the Colt. You want to move with your opponent. So that means if your opponent moves to the right and you're the Colt up here shooting at them, you want to move with them so that most of your shots will hit. That's what you want to try to do as a long range brawler like Colt. So to avoid shots, pretend to go to one side but then actually move to the other side. Really play the mind games here with your opponent so that don't be an easy target. Keep moving. Tip number 9. Learn all of your brawlers and know what brawler is good on which map. Each of those brawlers has a disadvantage and advantages depending on the maps, and some are better on maps than others and some are worse on maps than others. So really get to know all of your brawlers. And actually a little sub tip here. progress all of your brawlers in trophies because you get those very precious tokens for more trophies on each of the brawlers. So it's actually not a good practice to just have one brawler on 200 and every other brawler on 5 trophies, because you're wasting so much tokens on the way from 5 trophies to 200. So really try to progress all of your brawlers and don't waste those tokens you could get. You get tokens either from successful matches when there are tokens available, or you get them from ranking up your brawlers, or you get them from adding more trophies to your overall trophies. So you want to get all those tokens available. And then why 9 is so important, to know what your brawler is for. You're adding like a dead weight to your team if you use the wrong brawler. For example, Piper is a long distance sniper, and if you use Piper in a map with a lot of walls where she has to get really close, she will not do a lot of damage, she won't kill, she won't do many hits. And so you don't want to use Piper on a map with a lot of walls and very small areas. That's stuff you gotta know. Learn your brawlers and where they're good at. And tip number 10, and I mentioned that a bit already, play all of your brawlers. Also, because this is a great way not only to learn how to play them, but also to learn how to counter them, to learn what they're good at and what they're weak at. Learn all of your brawlers. And here's the bonus tips. How to progress really fast in the game. The fastest way to get most tokens in the game is Robo Rumble. The map where you try to protect your safe as long as possible against robos. If you can do that for 6 minutes 15, you're gonna get the max rewards in tokens. If you play 20 tickets at once, that's like playing 20 matches at once, and you're gonna get 20 times the tokens just from one match. This way you get most of the tokens you can and most of the boxes, and that's really the fastest way to progress in Brawl Stars. Play Robo Rumble and use many tickets in one Robo Rumble battle, and know what brawler to play there so that you can last as long as possible. And the bonus tip, if you want to spend gems on anything, play them on coin doubler. Imagine this, whenever you get tokens from a match, they will be doubled. So you basically progress twice as fast as without coin doublers. So if you want to spend gems on something or real money on something, spend it on coin doublers. And the bonus tip, gold is a very rare resource. So don't waste your gold, especially later on when your brawler is level 9 and you want that super star power. You need a lot of gold, and so save up your gold. Really key here. And yes, for all the beginners out there, there's the bonus tip. This is matchmaking. How does matchmaking work? In principle, it's if you play a brawler with 200 trophies, you will be matched against other brawlers with around 200 trophies. So imagine this like if you play with a team of 3, the average of your trophies will be about the average of your opponent team's trophies. And the strongest, the highest trophy brawler will actually have more weight. That means if you play with one brawler with 200 trophies and 2 brawlers with maybe only 5 trophies, your opponents will probably much closer be to 200 trophies, which will make it very hard for the new guys in your team with only 5 trophies. So that's also kind of a tip. Try to have about the same trophy with the brawlers in a team. That will really help. Unless you're above 300, then all of you, then it probably doesn't really matter because all your opponents will be maxed as well. In the end, it depends on the level of the brawler, how strong they are. If you have any more questions about Brawl Stars, please leave them in the comments. Please leave a like to this video and subscribe to ChiefAvalon Esports and Gaming for more amazing Brawl Stars content.